guys, what's up YouTube? Today we have a TSM versus Team Liquid game. Poggers! There's Doublelift and Bjergsen. They used to be on the same team and they're not on the same team. Dun dun dun. Hey guys, we have TSM versus Team Liquid VOD review. This was the premiere matchup. I actually thought that TSM would get smashed. I'm not gonna lie. Because yesterday in the game versus Optic, TSM had a lot of problems. And there was just so much inconsistency coming from players across the board from TSM. And TL has been the best team by far in North America. But when I thought back to Optic having the best early game in the league, and probably TSM focused majority of their practice versus Team Liquid, it actually makes sense why TSM was able to come out ahead. So without further ado, let's actually start the VOD review. So we have TL starting with Israel ban. TSM's going to ban Cassio, Lucian, Urgot. You guys are going to say I watched this VOD, but it's also very obvious what TSM is going to ban, because on purple side, right now, most teams are just doing Cassio, Lucian, Urgot. Oh, actually, what the hell? TL banned Cassio. We'll actually talk about this. Why TL bans Cassio? So, why is Cassio so strong right now? Because she can be played bot lane and mid lane as a flex pick, and she's one of the best bot laners. She's actually strong as a bot laner, more so than a mid laner. But the Doublelift play Cassio, that's the thing. He cannot play Cassio, so when TL first picks Cassiopeia, they're actually locking Cassiopeia into mid lane, and it has to go to Jensen. And Bjergsen can play Zed versus Cassio, Ori versus Cassio. There's a lot of things you can play versus Cassiopeia that can be really good. So Cassio first pick for TL is actually one of the weaker picks, and they actually have to ban out Cassio. So TSM got a free ban. I think things are bad for TL when they have to ban out Cassio on blue side. Could Cassio be played top? She can be played top, but it's not that great. Ooh, Irelia ban. It's kind of interesting. I guess more of a sniper ban towards Bjerg. And then last pick for TSM, they banned Nocturne. So Nocturne disallows 1-3-1 comps, some teamfight comps with wombo combos. Let's see what TL first picks. Yikes. Yikers. So Yorick, while an incredibly strong pick in the meta right now, Yorick's really good when you play versus tanks or immobile champions. It's not that great when you blind pick it and people can draft mobile carries into it. So stuff like Jax, stuff like Irelia, which they banned luckily, stuff like Ribbon. I don't think he's hovering Ribbon for the fun of it. Ribbon can be a really good champion into Yorick. So blind pick Thresh, it's something we've been seeing a lot. When you need to blind pick something, people picking Thresh. It's a little bit vulnerable to Alistar, and it can be kind of shitty comp-wise. But TSM's very confident in Smoothie's Thresh, and that's why they picked it. Also, another thing that's really good that TSM did. A lot of teams are having problems figuring out what they need to blind, and they blind pick Sejuani. Why that Sejuani blind pick is good is Sejuani wants melee champions. Melee champions top lane. And we know that Broken Blade is going to either play Jax or Ribbon or something that's melee that can do well versus Yorick. So this Seju pick is just setting up for the Jax or the Ribbon or the Irelia pick later on, but Irelia was banned. That's why they blind picked Seju, and I thought the Seju blind pick was actually really smart there. Doublelift blind picking Sivir. I'm actually pretty okay with blind pick Sivir. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's a pretty okay blind pick. Yeah, blind picking bot lane here. I also thought they could kind of just take jungle here and delay the AD pick, because Double has so much AD carries that he can play. Probably jungle here and delaying the AD pick. or even All-Star first pick wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world for TL. Just this Yorick first pick shows so much of TL strategy and so much of what they want to do, and TSM can easily counter it. For Silverblind, Silverblind, vulnerable to Kai'Sa, vulnerable to Vayne, depending on how confident you are in your Vayne. It can be bad versus Caitlyn too, depending on how good you are at Caitlyn. Silverblind, I would say Silver is still one of the safer blinds, but Yorick definitely isn't. I guess more so than the Silverblind, I have the biggest problem with Yorick. Let's see what Tony's gonna do. Jax, yeah. Really, I'm not sure how much TSM predicted that TL would first pick Yorick, but the game plan of doing Jax and Sejuani into Yorick was a really good one. So what TSM is doing by banning Olaf is they're banning out early junglers that Xmithy might play that could kind of fuck the Jax. They want to ban early game junglers. Draven ban. Oh yeah, Draven's also a great champion versus Sivir. I forgot about that. Gragas ban. Yep, they're just banning out early game junglers that can match out Sejuani pressure. Lee Sin can also match the pressure, so I'm curious why they were okay with banning Gragas Olaf and just letting Lee Sin through. Kai'Sa was probably Zben's most comfortable, more so than Kalista and Draven. I wonder what would have happened if TL banned Kai'Sa instead of maybe the Draven. Kai'Sa Kalista ban, and Zben's in kind of an awkward situation. Syndra, one of the better blind picks, and it's something that TL has been doing so much, so pretty expected. And Lee Sin, the early game prio thing we talked about. Yeah. Olaf Gragas are still good bans though. It's just, even if you ban Olaf Gragas, they still get to pick Lee Sin. And Joey for Bjerg. Alright, let's talk about both comp in its entirety once people get done trading. Oops. Oh no. Hey. Pause. Okay. So let's talk about what both comps want to do. TSM wants to get the Jax ahead and split push much as possible. Sejuani is going to play for the Jax. And they can actually get a lot of early game priority from Thresh and Kai'Sa too. What Seju wants to do is she wants to either gank bot lane or gank top lane and get either the side lanes ahead, and they want to enable the Jax much as possible. Both teams actually have a soft win condition and split push. Yorick and his 4 sons and his girlfriend are split pushers, and so is Jax. So whoever can get a strong split push going is actually going to have that win condition enabled, and the other team is going to be very, very heavily reliant on team fight. Both teams have a team fight / split push comp going on, but Jax getting ahead or Yorick getting massively ahead enables one team to actually enable that split push win condition so much more so. So I didn't know this about Jax, and I didn't know this about Yorick, but Yorick is really reliant on his auto attack to get his damage off. You know, his Q, the shovel Q, and then the mini goals, they're all auto attackers. And then the Yorick's girlfriend, the one that sucks you, they're all auto attacks. And how Jax functions is whenever Jax is getting auto attacked and he has a counter strike going, the counter strike damage goes up. So in a lot of ways, Jax is a really great counter pick into Yorick. So I think this is where TSM got a really big edge on the draft versus Team Liquid. I like that Team Liquid wasn't that predictable with their draft. Like drafting Yorick first is probably something that TSM didn't think TL would do. But it's also not the greatest thing in the world to do, blind picking Yorick first pick. I think TL should have had a better blind pick. They should have been able to blind pick either AD, support, or a jungler instead of blind picking Yorick. I think blind pick Yorick was the trollest thing they done. So, I mean, you'll probably say something like, Loco, then what did they blind pick? Jace is a decent blind pick. All-Star is a decent blind pick. Silas is a decent blind pick. Sivir is an okay blind pick. But first pick Sivir is also troll. Yeah, and Jax can jump out of Yorick cage. Ollie as a blind pick is also okay. It's just Yorick blind pick was the worst thing. Or flex picks, decent blind picks. Flex picks are one of the only blind picks that you can do. You either draft a flex pick early, or you draft a really strong pick early. So All-Star would be like drafting a All-Star Urgot is drafting a strong pick, and like Silas early or something like that is drafting a good Silas, or Jace is drafting a good flex pick. So why can Acadian bully out Xmithy early game? By what logic is Jace and Silas a good blind pick? Those champions will get beaten down. You blind pick Silas, you blind pick Jace, and then you can swap it to different lanes if you get counter picked too hard. If they first pick Jace, they just counter with Sion or Poppy, no? Then you put Jace mid, and then you put the counter pick to Sion or Poppy top lane. So why Acadian can do this is Bjerg has decent prio in mid lane, and I'm not sure if you guys can see, but Thresh has a lot of prio in bot lane. So TSM has good early game prio from both mid and bot. That's why it's enabling Acadian to get this crab. You know, in solo queue, whenever you play and your jungler goes for the crab and your mid and bot lane are behind and they get 2v1'd on, or the enemy moves first, that's what's happening. So same thing here. Xmithy smited the crap away, but now he's on this side. Bjerg still has priority, and then now we're gonna look at top lane. If you can see, Jax is moving first, and Jax has a big wave built up, right? So if Yorick also moves with the Jax, and nothing happens at this blue, if Yorick moves in, right, and Jax moves in, and TSM just buys time, then Yorick is slowly losing creeps to turret. So it's really hard for Impact to move, while it's really easy for the Jax to move. You can see Jax has 17 CS. It's not that Jax is up 10 CS, it's there's 10 CS that are still alive for Yorick that Yorick has to catch. And also Jax is level 3. So it's really hard for the Yorick to move, while it's really easy for the Jax to move. So Acadian actually beasted his pathing on Xmithy. What a Chad. Holy shit. What a peasant killer. His wrath was very swift. He is smurfing. Now, Xmithy's pathing is kind of fucked, and after Acadian backs, he can pick up more farm. And Lee not getting an early game lead is actually kind of bad for Lee. Not actually kind of bad, just bad. I don't know why I use so much neutral adjectives there. Xmithy had to do a little bit of different pathing if he thought about the lane prios. So the difference wasn't like out of this world. It's just good to see TSM build up an early lead. And Acadian doing a good job of backing up Broken Blade, making sure he can push his wave. So I'll talk about little stuff like this. So you can see how Broken Blade has a big wave, right? You can see he has this wave here, and then he has this wave all the way here. And what's going to happen is both these waves are going to shove out. And Broken Blade is going to be in a position where he's going to be going past the river. So it's really important for Acadian to back him up. If he doesn't back him up, he can get ganked here. And until this wave crashes, Broken Blade is going to be in a dangerous situation, but Acadian doing a really good job of backing up Broken Blade. Even if Xmithy doesn't gank here, it's good for Acadian to be here to make sure he can shut this out. Once the wave crashes, it's going to push backwards, so it's really good. Oof. I'll talk about what the mistake was here. So Core JJ, this WQ is good, but he had to back up all the way. He stayed a little bit too close to try to get his E smack onto Smoothie, and Smoothie did a really good job of maintaining distance, so he wasn't able to stun him, and Smoothie was able to kill him with Flash Flay. Just really good play from Smoothie. if Core JJ just goes in for WQ and backs out here. Yes, so Smoothie used both his spells, right? He used Q and E. He does the WQ. Smoothie doesn't have Aftershock. Core JJ has Aftershock right now. And Core JJ just backs out. Then it's really good for Core JJ. And Smoothie just gets chunked. And All-Star, because of his passive, will heal up much easier in lane than Core JJ or Smoothie will. So yeah, all of Core JJ has to do was back up after his combo, but he overcommits. So let's see what happens. He overcommits, tries to get the E. Smoothie does a really good job of maintaining the distance, and now they're able to kill him in return. And yeah, also Kaisa does more damage than Sivir early game. Yeah, did you guys see that? That's what I'm talking about though. So when Broken Blade goes in, and he uses his E, right? He's not losing any damage. Yorick and his son and his girlfriend actually can't kill Broken Blade, and Broken Blade can break the cage and escape. Yeah. And Core JJ channeled the WQ and killed Zeben. Just really bad play from Zeben. He should never die there. Yeah, Yorick has a family. It's his girlfriend and 4 sons. Core JJ, 1 bad play into 1 good play. And Xmithy is almost fully caught up in jungle now too. It's really, really fucking weird to see Zeben make mistakes like that. Like, he should know that All-Star can and will use Hextech Flash and look for the combo. It's such a common play. And to have Zeben not respect it is really dumb. A lot of the early pathing recovered. It's TL didn't lose from early pathing. Like, if you pause the game right here, TL's actually ahead about 500. I guess 500 gold is nothing, but TL is in an okay spot right here. If they lost the game from early pathing, they should be in a shitty spot from the early pathing, but they recovered a lot. Like, this kind of shit is bad. We can talk about why this kind of shit is bad. Xmithy's at blue. Gromp is up and blue is up. An Acadian is Mia. Where would Acadian be? Where would Acadian be? He's not at Gromp. He's not at blue. Only one place he can be. Waiting in brush to try to kill Impact. Why Impact played up is because he warded this. So he doesn't know that Acadian was waiting at the second brush, and he did a good job of waiting at the second brush, and they were able to get the kill. Probably Broken Blade says something like, oh, he has a ward here. Don't go in this brush, and they were actually able to get the kill. Impact dying there is really big. He's going to lose a bunch of waves, and the kill also went on Broken Blade too. So TL tries to reply with a bottom play by taking Dragon, but TSM having none of it, and good job of countering the Dragon. Broken Blade got about 3 plates there. Like, that gold difference is huge. He's up 900 gold on Impact. Good job of waiting. Impact went in because he looked like Broken Blade was taking a bad trade, but actually baiting. Really good job. Oh, okay, I actually got the kill on Acadia. So here's what both teams want to do. TL wants to snowball bot lane, and they want to kill Dragon. Or they want to, my apologies. They want to snowball bot lane. They want to snowball bot lane, and take turret, and swap to top side. Why they want to swap to top side is to make sure TSM can't get Herald, make sure they get first turret, and to make sure Jax can't keep snowballing. That's what TL wants to do. Get bottom turret, swap to top side, make sure TSM, all these fucking teams that start with T and that I work for. So fucking confusing. Okay, let me start over. TL. Bot turret. Swap Herald. Or prevent TSM from Herald. TSM, they want to get Herald. Then first turret top. And 1-3-1. This is what TSM wants to do. This is what TL wants to do. Whoever can get it going first is going to win. And that's what we're going to really watch for. Who can get the objective done first? TL has TSM's bot lane down to 3 turret plating. TSM can look for Herald. It's only down to 2 turret plating for top side. This Herald play is so fucking big. Why it's so fucking big is it's before 14 minutes, so it's before plating falls. It's before plating falls, and yeah, like taking this Herald is gonna allow TSM to do their first play. Oh, and then they die here. This is the game losing play, guys. This is the game losing play. So let's go over why this thing happened. Jensen backed and finished his Luden. Bjergsen didn't back yet, and he doesn't have his items complete. So Xmithy should know that Alistar is here and Syndra is here. So his backup is coming from mid side. So what Impact wants to do is after pushing, he wants to be on this side, and they want to all group up towards mid side. But let's see where they split off to. What happened was they contested this, they got chunked, they got hit by Jack stun, Sedge ult, and they're going back in on this, and they're so split. Why are you going back in if Syndra's nowhere near close? If Xmithy backs here, and Impact backs here, and they warp around to here, they can prevent Herald, they can wait for Jensen, they can wait for Core JJ. They just need to not go in more. I think if Xmithy just backed up, this would have been a fine situation for TL to be in. And Core JJ positioning matters, but they're all coming from mid side, so they just had to back up and wait for mid side. It was really bad of them to be split up and take the fight 2v2. And then now TSM gets Herald, and then we talked about what TSM wants to do, right? They want to take top lane, they want to take Herald, and they want to go into 1-3-1. And because whatchamacallit, TSM got Herald, they're going to be able to do everything they want. They took top lane. Yep. This is fine. This is fine. Spot them. Spot them. That's fine. Get off. Dodge Sedge. They dodged Sedge too. And Broken Blade coming in for the stun, and Xmithy has flash. Just flash. You flashed out. Perfect. Perfect. Situation over. Situation over. Xmithy's Xmithy's about half HP. Broken Blade missed his flash stun. Sejuani missed his flash ult. It's over. Situation's over. Xmithy just has to back off now. But he went back in and then kind of killed himself. You know when you hit that Lee Sin Q and your mind's telling you no, but my body's telling me yes. That's what happened. His body told him yes, and he went in for that. Also, small correction on my part. TSM doesn't want a 1-3-1 because they have Zoe. Zoe's really bad in a 1-3-1 situation because she can't be in a side lane. So Zoe has to be mid. So TSM probably wants to do 1-1-2 with jungler either being behind Broken Blade or Thresh coming in behind Broken Blade. They're doing a good job of constantly enabling Broken Blade. Yeah, Zoe can't be in a side lane. TSM doesn't want a 1-3-1. That's my mistake. They know they're on the losing side. TL getting first bot turret, or getting turret bot. It's not the first turret, like I talked about. Both teams have macro things that they want to do. Remember, they want to enable Broken Blade much as possible. Xmithy getting caught here. Man, Xmithy's actually having such an off day. They grouped up. Remember what I said, Zoe can't be in a side lane, and they're doing a good job of putting Zoe mid and stacking objectives like Dragon. Check TL Reddit, people. TL was trying something new. They didn't care much this game. Steve and Andy, who are really good friends and also really big rivals, did not care much this game. Doublelift got kicked from TSM, did an interview beforehand about how much it sucks to play on TSM and is pretty much trash talking TSM. Definitely does not care. Definitely does not care at all. Double's going into this game thinking, it doesn't matter if I lose to Bjergsen. Who cares? Me and Bjergsen, we chill, we friends, it doesn't matter. Oh, Zven, he replaced me on TSM. Oh, I'm cool with him too. This game doesn't matter, guys. I mean, you know, undefeated streak, we're not playing for that. You know, like we just want to take this game chill. Us and TSM, we good friends. Right. TL does not care. Jensen, not in a rivalry with Bjergsen for best mid laner of all time in NA. Does not care. Lose to any team. Who cares? TL not caring at all. Yepers. TL does not care. TL actually doing a good job of getting like the side turrets and playing the side objectives, and has been getting constantly caught out. They enabled Doublelift to be in a good spot. But TSM also replying in return, doing a good job of grouping or killing bot. Oh, Jensen dying here is actually really bad. How did this even happen? Whoa, show me the lead up to this. So Smoothie's coming in. And he flashed and Bjergsen already hit a bubble, okay. Damn. Because this turret was already low from Herald, it was really bad for Jensen to die there. So, we'll talk about the game state here a little bit. TSM has multiple ways to win the game, right? They can split push with Jax and they can also team fight. Now what TSM wants to do is one of two things. With this Jax pressure, they either have Thresh or Sejuani follow the Jax, and they try to kill this turret. That's way one of playing the game for TSM. Use the Jax to play for turret and have Thresh and Sejuani go behind the Jax, or even Zoe go behind the Jax and help him kill Yorick and play the split push. So this would be playing for the side lane. That's way one of TSM playing. Way two of TSM playing is Jax gets his lead and then goes to Baron and tries to flank Baron by using either teleport or just walking behind, and TSM sets up Baron. That's way two of playing. So way one would be, I would say it's more European or Korean way of playing. Europeans and Korean teams love split pushing as a win condition and fully playing to 1-3-1. Way two, I would say, is a little bit more North American, and where you play around Baron and you play for the team fight. Either is fine though. How TL wants to play it is they only have one way to play it. They have to team fight at Baron. They have to team fight Baron or mid lane. Or Xmitty can get caught at red buff, and Core JJ can get caught at red buff. TL can't play towards side lane because Impact is far behind the Jax. And they definitely can't get caught at red buff like that. They have to try to push out mid and set up Baron and try to take the 5v5. That's the only win condition that TL has right now. A 5v5 win condition. It's super important that TL plays to push up mid. If they ever get too shoved in deeply in mid, they're going to lose Baron really quickly. Luckily, they have Scuttle right now from the minimap, so they're able to keep maintaining vision on Baron. Man, BB's doing such a good job here. I'll pause. So right now, you can see he has no vision, and his team's all the way on top side, and he has no vision. And he's backing up, and he's playing patiently instead of pushing up all the way. He's doing a really good job of backing up and knowing that, oh, my team is taking their time to set up Baron. I can't push by myself right now, and I need to wait until they get pressure. Doing a good job of backing up, and then now when TL shows mid, he pushes. Yeah, this is something that a lot of carry players don't know how to do. Back up. Taking Earthstrike. Their TSM's doing such a good job of stacking objectives. not overplaying things. They have such a good lead right now, and it's really important they play out their lead properly. Their lead is on Broken Blade. They have to wait for Broken Blade to buy pressure. If they, oh my, stuff like this, like getting engaged like this. Remember what I talked about? TL has one win condition, 5v5 at Baron. And it's important that TSM doesn't give it, and Acadian's actually getting caught and kind of giving TL the only win condition they have. As much as it was important for Broken Blade to play safe when rest of his team weren't setting up, if Broken Blade doesn't have his push all the way at turret, then Acadian and rest of the team needs to play safe. Lucky Acadian was playing Sejuani with stone plating, or that would have been really bad. Acadian, I know you're a Chad, but you have to wait. You have to wait until Broken Blade pushes up all the way. Now Broken Blade doing a good job of backing up, and then he's going to pressure again with when rest of his team is on the map. So it looks like TSM is going with way 2 of winning the game, which is setting up around Baron and not having someone go behind Broken Blade. Once Baron's all the way set up, Broken Blade will teleport after TSM starts Baron. That's the win condition they're playing for. If they're not sending anyone behind Broken Blade, that's the win condition. Here's the other thing that TL has to kind of worry about. If they're playing in a way where, oh, TSM's actually doing 1-3-1. Remember what I talked about? Joey can't be in the side lane, so the one they're sending is actually Zeben instead of the Zoe. If the game gets too long, it's bad for TSM though. Think of it this way. Every minute you get $1. When you have $5 and the enemy team has $1, that's a $4 difference. But as money keeps going up, when you have $10, enemy team has $6, and the percentage difference is a lot different. You used to have 5 times their gold, now you only have 40% more of their gold. So it's super important that TSM pulls a trigger soon, and they don't allow TL to catch up on all the mistakes they made. Zeben's in a really shitty spot this game. I know a lot of people are shitting on Zeben. The death at bottom, where he got flash combo by Alistar, was really bad. The death at top, Core JJ played really well, but he's forced to play the weak side lane this game. Zeben is in the worst spot out of everyone. He's playing the weak side lane, which is the hardest position to play. Because Bjerg is playing mid lane. Broken Blade is playing bot lane, which is the strong lane, and now he has to take the weak side lane. So it's actually Zeben's in a really shitty. He's playing the really shitty lane. There's 2 deaths that I think Zeben shouldn't have died at, but oh man, what the fuck? I think this should never happen. How did Impact die there? He's fighting him at turret. He backs off of turret, and then Broken Blade just solo kills him. Youch. And then now they can teleport for Baron. Damn, that was actually super anticlimactic. I didn't think that would ever happen. Impact just gets solo killed in a side lane. Yeah, how does this happen? Okay, you're with your 4 sons and girlfriend. And then you get stunned. Oh, you don't get stunned, but you flash away from turret. No, he fought away from his 4 sons and the girlfriend. This game is somewhat top difference, but it's also pick difference. Blind pick Yorick, not a good idea. Man, TSM did such a good job of building a lead, but now they're kind of throwing it. I would like to see them 1-3-1. I guess 1-4 is fine too. But 1-3-1 would have been much safer and much better and more guaranteed. Oh man, if they don't get any inhibitors off of this, it's because they did a 1-3-1 and they 1-4'd instead. It's super important they get at least 1 inhibitor, or the game's gonna slow down so much. Oh, what the fuck, Xmithy? Damn, this game had so much random caught up situation by Xmithy. They get 1 inhibitor. Okay, they end up getting 2 inhibitor. This is fine. A 2 inhibitor. They have so much of a lead. The game's almost over at this point. This game for TL to win, it has to reach like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. There can be a point where All-Star outscales Thresh, Sivir outscales. Actually, Sivir doesn't really truly outscale Kai'Sa. They both kind of just get really strong. I don't think Yorick will ever outscale Jax though. That's a problematic thing. Yeah, this game has to last a really long time for TL to win now. TSM trying to play all 3 lanes. Imagine being given all the resources and not carrying double lift. More so than double lift carrying, I think this game was a lot of mistakes from Xmithy and Impact. Xmithy got caught out so much. The Rift Terror play and Impact dying at Inhibitor. Those were the 2 biggest problems. This game's realistically over in Mayo. I don't think the Lee Sin pick was troll. I think the Yorick blind pick was really troll. Oh man. Someone said, Jack says Steve flamed. Jack says Steve flamed his team. I'm super curious what Steve actually said.
Not only did they win, they literally crushed Team Liquid, and it's like surprising.
You guys have a bad week.
So owners can usually make,
did have a really bad week.
yeah, owners can make a lot better predictions, and coaches and players can make a lot better predictions than analysts because they just have more information. When you get to see team scrim, then you'll know, oh, I think this team's gonna win, this team's gonna lose. Because if I'm making a prediction, right, then I see TSM's last week's games, I see TL's last week's games, and then I'm making a prediction. Jack gets to see both how TL scrimmed, how TSM scrimmed. So Jack had way more information. So whenever owners or coaches or players tweet things, I actually think it has a lot of value. Or you at least know that a certain team is doing well in scrims and bad in scrims.
So
were you scrimming TSM? Is that what happened? Like what?
No. We were playing scrims and we were losing a good number of them, and the meta's changed. So we're trying some different stuff. I don't think we've put impact on a split push top laner. I think picking Yorick first pick and having counters to it, and just thinking that they're not.
You guys put impact on Akali before. Akali's definitely a split push top laner though.
Yeah, a bit questionable. So yeah, lesson learned. And yeah, Jack was right about this, but I don't see him saying that he's going to actually win a championship this split. So.
And you're still 9-1 at the end, or you're 8-1? 8-1 at the end of the day?
7-1, yeah.
7-1? 7-1?
Yeah, respectable.
He's made it out of good, so that's important. I mean, I think the draft overall makes decent sense if you camp top lane, but I think they didn't play around. You guys didn't play around top lane nearly as well as
well, they tried one time where they did a 2v2 top, but they had to run because they don't win that 2v2. Like, Mason doesn't beat Sejuani. You saw Sejuani beat him at both scuttles, took his forest, and there's no way you win.
I do agree with Steve. Drafting Yorick first pick is bad.
How do they beat a Sejuani Jax?
I mean,
you can't beat a Seju Jax.
There's just no way you're winning that.
Here's the thing: is that Yorick doesn't have as good of a team fight as Jax, right? Jax has a better late game than Yorick, and Yorick is weaker in the earlier game than Jax.
So what is Yorick?
Why are you picking first picking Jax? I'm sorry, first picking Yorick and then leaving a counter. So it doesn't make much sense. So the win
Actually, I do agree with Steve. I agree with Steve in everything that he said. I think Steve is actually 100% correct. You can't blind pick Yorick, and they did leave up counters. And yeah, it's bad to blind pick Yorick, but just as a coach, like, it just sucks to hear like your owner also like kind of like leaving you out to dry. As a former coach, I would have liked it if Steve says something like, yeah, we didn't have the best draft, but we're gonna fix these problems for next week. I think that's, if Steve did that, then, and Steve can talk to Kane separately and be like, yo, Kane, like, I didn't think this draft is good. I don't think we should do stuff like this next time. But he just, this just feels like kind of airing out Kane.
First, let's talk about TL having some good things. Of course, around Doublelift, this has looked very good. He was very far ahead in this game. This is a really
Double was far ahead, but There was critical mistake from Xmithy and Impact.
I mean, I think you guys all saw yesterday in Core JJ's flank. I mean, that was just brilliant. It was planned out like 2 minutes in advance. You could just kind of see how he's repositioning, and you can see here, like, his Alistar's just...
What do you think about Mo saying Yasuo would have been a better pick for Bjerg this game? I'm both gonna always talk about Yasuo.
She's not one who's gonna kill him through Counter-Strike in a team fight, and this Jax gets farther
Oh,
further ahead.
yeah, this play was the really game breaker play.
This is actually a really good gank from Acadian, the way that he dashes in and throws the ult. There's just no reaction from Impact there, even though the top lane brush.
This was also the game breaker play. Those two and Impact 9 bot lane were the 3 plays that lost TL the game.
They really have nothing going for them now.
Yeah, and this was just rushed, right? Like, TSM has the numbers, Syndra's coming from base. You know that you can't go in and contest this dragon. You need to play a little bit slow. We played it too fast.
Yeah.
You see TSM.
And Steve actually understands things correctly. For how much he understands things, I feel like he should have been nicer to Kane about it.
Because those just kept getting worse and worse. And
3 autos, he has to flash out instantly, doesn't get to do anything. Pretty depressing for him.
Yeah, it's a tough game for Double Lift, for sure.
So is this the impact?
Man, he's protecting double without
No,
protecting
not
Kane.
at all.
I didn't think it was that bad. Steve didn't like kill Kane. He just, I think, put a little bit too much emphasis on the draft, and he could have just said like something like unfortunate or something like things went wrong, and like not talk about how bad it was, because it was obvious how bad it was.